to another episode of the Garden of Hope, where we like to bring hope to our community by helping them become self-sufficient through growing their own food and how to use this in everyday life. So in today's video, I'm going to show you an easy and simple way how to make compost. Now there's many different methods and recipes out there, and some of them can get really complicated. So I hope in this video to just give you a simple way how to make your own compost. Now compost is very good for your garden. You can see it as food for your garden. It's very necessary because it helps to enrich the soils with the necessary ingredients that it needs for good growth. All right, so there's a simple way to make it. And the way that we can first look at it is by looking at where do we begin to make our compost heap. So picking the right location is very important. Now here where we are, I'm standing on the slope and my garden is at the bottom of my slope. So I'm going to quickly show you how that looks like. So as you can see, my garden is at the bottom of the slope and I'm standing on top of the slope. So when compost is busy being made, it gets a little bit heavier, and then with the wheelbarrow, I can just use gravity to my advantage. So think about that where you make your compost heap so that you don't make it in the wrong spot. And I'm also making it here so that I don't take up too much of my growing space. So don't take up too much of your growing space when you're making your compost heap too close to your garden or in your garden, for example. All right, so there's two things that you need to remember. It is nitrogen and carbon. And nitrogen we're going to refer to as the greens, and carbon we are going to refer to as the browns. All right, so we're going to measure these two up in our compost heap. So nitrogen is living matter. It's things like cow manure, which is not green, it's brown, but it is a living matter. But we refer to it as green because it is nitrogen rich. All right. And another thing that is nitrogen rich is your kitchen scraps, like banana peels, vegetable peels. All of those things are nitrogen rich. Try not to use any dairy products or things like meat and bone because it really makes your compost heap smell very bad. So if you just keep to organic waste kitchen scraps, like the peels and stuff, it really is like a nitrogen rich product that you can put in. Carbon is things like cardboard or paper, newspaper, even the dead leaves from your garden, which you don't know what to do with. You can use that as carbon as well. All right, so there's a very quick ratio. It is 2 to 1 is the ratio. So 2 carbon plus 1 nitrogen. That will give you the right ratio in order to put in your compost. So I'm going to show you a quick way. So right here, we've got our browns. As you can see, this is just dead leaves. So we need 2 buckets of this. If we're going to use a bucket as the ratio, you can use a wheelbarrow as a ratio. And in here, we've got some fresh cow manure. All right, so this is going to be our nitrogen. And just for the sake of this video, I've got some old kitchen scraps, which is also nitrogen. All right, so to start with, we're going to use some of the browns. I'm going to put our browns down there. So that can be, for example, 2 buckets of that. Then I'm going to use some of the kitchen scraps in here as 1 bucket. That's going to be our nitrogen, as you can see. And you can just spread it out a little bit. And then we're going to take some more brown. A little bit more. Just flatten out a little bit. And then I'm going to use nitrogen again. You can come a bit closer. A little bit more of that. And then some more browns. And so you go on until your how big you want your heap. And then very important is to keep it moist, all right? So what I'll do now after this is I'll come and wet it to keep it moist. That really just helps the composting going. So this one I started a week ago, and as you can come closer, you can see the difference. So I basically used the same stuff, the same materials, and as I dig in, come closer, you can see, look at the worms in there. That's some of the kitchen waste. And I know you can't see it, and I don't have a temperature meter, but it's really hot in here. And look at the color of the leaves, how they changed already. So this shows you how quickly it goes to work. And these are the same leaves that I just used there right now, and they're already being decomposing. So all you have to do is you have to keep it wet, and this is literally in 1 week. So that will be probably ready in 3 weeks' time, and then you can start using it in your garden. So I hope this is useful, and I hope that you can use this and enjoy making compost.